So we have a little bit more information on the Gina Carano situation, and I want to share it with all of you guys and go over it because there's a lot to talk about here. I talked about this briefly in my earlier video today where I talked about how she found out that she was out on Star Wars the same as all of us on social media, which is terrible. I would think that a company would have at least the common courtesy to let you know that you're done, but that's not how Lucasfilm chose to handle it. They chose to let her know along with me and you on social media, which is really messed up. Then, of course, we find out Rian Johnson has his trilogy still coming. It's almost like a wham bam on fans. But in this interview here, there's a lot in here. Goes over everything that happened. There's a couple things that I want to go over. So there's a lot in here. This is a great interview that she did with Gina. And it goes over the reasoning to why she shared some images and how people have attacked her for the wrong reasons. And it talks about, how she has love for these communities and stuff. And she was just saying that, hey, maybe people need to stand up together if they want things to really change on some levels. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, there's some other stuff in here that I want to go over, particularly about an apology that Lucasfilm wanted her to make, and she didn't make. If you remember, there was a rumor coming out from the same source that We Got This Covered was using all the time, and people were running with that, and I didn't make a video on it because I knew it was BS. And that was that Gina Carano had apologized behind closed doors to Lucasfilm, which was BS. I knew it was BS, and it turns out it was BS. They wanted her to make an apology, and she said no. She talks about it right here in this video. So here's what she says. Early on last year, before The Mandalorian came out, they wanted me to use their exact wording for an apology over the pronoun usage. That's her beep, bop, boop statement that she made on Twitter, which is a Star Wars joke, by the way. I declined and offered a statement in my own words. I made clear I wanted nothing to do with mocking any community and was just drawing attention to the abuse of the mob and forcing people to put these in their bio, she told me. Lucasfilm's response was to exclude her from all press and promotion for the show. According to Carano, that was heartbreaking, and I didn't want to take away from the hard work of everyone who worked on the project, so I said, okay. That was the last time I was contacted about any type of public statement or apology from Lucasfilm. I found out through social media, like everyone else, that I had been fired. Some interesting things there, particularly that Lucasfilm wanted her to apologize. She refused, and I don't fault her for that. In fact, I have a lot of respect for her for not apologizing, because she could have, and she probably still would have gotten that show. Let's be real. She probably still would have gotten that show, and, that's a lot of money that she's turning down, but to her integrity and her self-respect is worth more, and you have to applaud that. You have to applaud that. She really is a strong and courageous woman. And the really funny thing here is that's what apparently these people all champion, and I would say that that's probably a lie based on what we're seeing here. So they wanted her to apologize, and she said no. So that rumor that she apologized behind closed doors, that was a bunch of BS. And that's why I didn't cover it. So interesting stuff there. Lucasfilm, terrible employer. Also, Lucasfilm doesn't care about fans, and they don't care about money. Well, they do care about some fans. They care about the mob on Twitter. And, the funny thing is, even if she had apologized and used their exact PR apology that they wanted her to make, it wouldn't have mattered. They never would have let it go. They still go after Rosario Dawson. And Rosario Dawson has been, all the stuff against her that I've covered has been dropped. But that doesn't matter. They still want her to apologize for something she didn't even do. It never works. It's when you never apologize. Never. Don't do it, because it's not going to make any bit of a difference. So a round of applause to Gina for sticking to her guns on this one. Also, I think Gina's going to be okay. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I think she's got a bright future, especially as an independent creator, which honestly is, in my opinion, the way to go, because you can say and do what you want. And that's something that money just can't really buy. And you know what? Like, Hollywood is a nasty place, and I don't think she's missing out on anything, really. So I'm glad that she's happy, and I think things are going to work out for her. But this doesn't stop games journalists from getting in on the action. GameSpot putting their 2 cents in, saying she was fired for being a bad employee, not for her politics, even though they totally ignore some of the stuff that Pedro Pascal has said and the other Lucasfilm employees, particularly the one that talked about putting people in wood chippers. Were they being bad employees? How come they weren't fired for their politics? I wonder why. So, they have to, of course, jump in and put their 2 cents in. I can't stand game journalists. And then, of course, what about, replacing Gina Carano in The Mandalorian? Well, apparently the answer is to replace her with a man. For real, there's an entire article on this, which is funny. Imagine if this had been a different situation, if this had been a woman with the right type of thinking, which is that's such a problematic statement if you think about it, coming from these people who write this stuff. But they see no problem in replacing a strong, independent woman with a man, which is something that you think you would never see from these people. But here it is, a whole article about replacing her with Bill Burr's character, which I find kind of funny. I don't know if Screen Rant got the note, but there's already people trying to cancel Bill Burr from his character on The Mandalorian. Frog Knight here over on Twitter posting a very nice collage of all the people that were going after Bill Burr. Of course, I've also cut a video on that. It does not matter. They are quick to go after anybody and everything, though, of course, they've let most of this go. That doesn't stop them from trying. Disney doesn't seem to care. I like Bill Burr, but Bill Burr does have the right political thought, even though I like that he stands up against some stuff. If you remember his Saturday Night Live monologue, I thought it was pretty funny. But they're willing to let things go with Bill Burr. Gina is not. I wonder what Bill Burr's thoughts on Gina being canceled are. It's really funny and telling that everybody in the cast has been completely quiet about what's going on with Gina Carano. None of them have said anything or stood with their co-star. If anything, it tells me exactly what I've always known about people in Hollywood. They're all a bunch of cowards. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Also, if you would please like, subscribe, and share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And as always, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.